So welcome everyone to our Zoom this week, Vivre en France. I'm actually in Paris, woohoo, for the first time in my life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's wonderful to be here. It's been a very interesting week. Laurence and I and a few of the other people online were at the rewrite of the foundation, the Access Foundation class last week. And in the last few months, a lot of things have been changing, and you may be aware of that on the planet, that things appear to be chaotic. That would be a good thing. Things appear to be in turmoil and upset and intrigue. However, that is change. The nature of change that is it can be extremely uncomfortable, extremely intense. And one of the reasons why people develop decay in their teeth, for example, is they do not desire to be uncomfortable. They don't want to change. So they tend to want to stay. And when you want to stay stuck, sometimes you comfort yourself with sweet foods and sweet drinks and just watching TV. And it's actually a movement towards death rather than a movement towards life. So it is natural for us to always be moving towards change. It actually is quite difficult to resist change and locks up the body. Thank goodness we have access bars and we have the access body processes with the verbal processing to start unlocking that in the body. However, what this new awarenesses that have come through are providing, and there is some hissing on the line. Is anyone aware of who's not muted that's creating a hissing? Can you hear it? Yeah, I wonder what that is.
I can't hear you very well, Shauna.
Oh, well, that's not good.
Maybe
okay.
Your connection is not so good as usual.
Can you mute you and see what happens, Laurence?
Uh-huh. Everything seems to be okay for me.
Okay, the hissing.
It's written your bandwidth is quite weak.
It could be.
So,
but the hissing has stopped. That's
can you hear Shauna? Uh-huh.
I can hear you now. That's okay. Okay, so the things that we are talking about will interrupt electronic devices. They will create all kinds of interesting and amazing things. So everywhere that the technology, what can we contribute to the technology contributing to us? Let's uncreate and destroy anything that doesn't allow that. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So here's what has occurred in the last few weeks in a nutshell. Gary Douglas and Dane here have come up with this amazing awareness that anytime you are indulging your feelings, going into your feelings, your emotions, you are taking yourself out of the energy, space and consciousness that you truly be as a being. We as beings... Do you still have me? I just got a message you lost me. You still have, am I still online? Hello? Yes? Okay. Laurence, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Laurence? Tekla, can you hear me?
Yes, you are online, but your picture is freezed.
Okay, as long as you can hear me, that's the important thing. You can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. All right. See, I'm trying to get this information out. And the electrical reality, it's about the electrical reality. It's about how we have digitized reality. What is digitized? It's broken up into tiny little segments, on, off, on, off, on, off. And that is how electricity works. It's either on or it's off, and it's in pulsing little bits like that. However, our natural way of being is a continuous, never-ending flow of energy, acoustical waveform, energy, space, and consciousness. Now, if you think about how, if they show you an old movie from 100 years ago on modern projectors, modern TV, the old movie looks like the people are walking little bit at a chop, 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 very strange pace. That's a brilliant example of digitization. the breaking up of the stop-start reality. This is truly humongous, truly huge, because if we... There's some strange noises happening. Wow. If we are willing to be the space, energy, space, and consciousness we truly be, everything that comes in, everything you receive is simply awareness. The moment you go, I am feeling this, feeling sad, feeling cold, feeling something, you're back into the digitized electrical reality. Chop, 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 chop. Everything's chopped up into little bits. When you try to get a relationship flowing, when you try to create a business, anything you're trying to do that has a stop, start, slow, heavy struggle to it, you know that you are in that digitized reality. How does it get any better than that? Now, for me, being in Paris this week, Paris is one of the cities in the world that bleeds time. What does that mean? Bleeding time means that the past, the present, and the future have no firm boundaries. They are constantly intermingled. So you can be walking down a street in Paris or sitting in a room in Paris, in a park in Paris, and be impacted by everything that has ever occurred there, but also the possibilities of what could occur in the future. Wow, how does it get any better than that? So for me this morning, again, I got up very early, went over to Notre Dame Cathedral, which is about 15 minutes walk. Am I going too fast, Errol? I hope not. And I spoke to the building. And I said, hello, Notre Dame. Hello. What can I contribute to you? And the building was shocked, because I don't think anyone talks to. They look at buildings and go, wow, merveilleuse, oh, grand, big, old, la. But actually talk to the building. And I asked the building, what can I contribute to you? What can you contribute to me? So when I was able to go past it, and there were hardly any tourists there at 7:30 in the morning, which really isn't so early. The door was open at 7:45. I was able to go in. I was quite surprised. But of course, it's a working church. It's a church where they hold services. 8 a.m. Mass was about to happen. So you could go in and sit. You could attend Mass if you wish to. Hardly anyone there. I went into this dark, quite cold, silent place and just sat for about 20 minutes, listened to the service, spent about an hour in the building, and then the tourists started to arrive. I had to get out. So would you be willing to receive all the contributions, you amazing people who live in France, in Europe, in Paris, these ancient cities that the buildings are willing to be to you? And anything that doesn't allow that, will you uncreate and destroy it all, please? Right, yes. Wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I also asked the building to all the projections, rejections, expectations, separations and judgments people have had of it and of each other, and all of the traumas and dramas that have occurred within and around that cathedral, would the building be willing to uncreate and destroy them all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. I would like to remind you that each and every one of you is a walking miracle. You are the source for the creation of the earth and the future. So yes, you and little me from Sydney, Australia, going to the great Notre Dame Cathedral, do I make a difference? Yes, I do. Do you make a difference? Yes, you do, in everything you do and everything you be. It's just the willingness to be and ask the question. Now, because we are so aware, we are receiving so much, it's very easy to be pushed into take on the feelings that you are having as awarenesses, instead of having them as awareness, calling them feelings. And that's intense. That can be overwhelming. You can walk the streets of Paris or any city in the world where there's been bombings, violence, murders, all kinds of things, and have those feelings. It is a choice, however. How do you know? Well, the moment it feels heavy, it's not yours. The moment it feels contracted, it's an awareness you're having. So you simply have to ask, I hate to use it again, that old tool, who does this belong to? Or body, thank you for giving me awareness. What awareness are we having right now? And if you're willing to be that change and be willing to be that difference, you just pock and pot it. Everything that is, I uncreate and destroy it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So, Laurence, I'm sorry, that's a long introduction to where we are going and where we're coming from today. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Vivre en France, or France en Vivre. Tell us about you, because I am amazed at your ability to be a corporate businesswoman and also this Joy of Business and certified facilitator. Those two things would seem to be, but not for you. How do you do that?
It's a great challenge for me every day. Yes, I'm still a corporate working in a great company in France. But in a few months, I will finish my job in this company.
Ooh.
And by the way, I was yes. So a few years ago, I was looking for something different. I found Access and began to become a facilitator. So now I have 2 activities. My activity in the company as a salary, and my activity with Access, which is growing and growing every day. And it's quite a challenge, as I said, because I have to manage these 2 parts of my life, but it's very exciting to move from one to the other, to mix themselves and to see what occurs. And each part is a contribution for my life. My job is a contribution to Access, to my activity in Access, to talk to people, to explain things regarding a job in a company and how you can use Access tools in your job as a salary, and for your life also. And it's very exciting for me to live that right now.
So could you give us there'll be a lot of people on this call who do have a job. How did they get so lucky? So could you, and if it's easier for you to speak French, I know your English is excellent, but if it's easier as you're thinking to speak French, do that, because Errol will translate it. Could you give us some simple tools that you use in the work environment? Access tools?
Yes, of course. Yes. I often use the crazy phrase.
Which is? Say the crazy phrase for us.
Yes. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And I can see that every day. I can say it every day. Because when you begin to extrapolate, I don't know if it exists in English, you imagine that people are thinking the same way as you, and you imagine a lot of situations which are not true. In fact, people have their own reality and they don't think the same way as you. And if you are not aware of that, you may think about a lot of scenarios, which are not true, and you become completely mad with that. So the crazy phrase is very important for me to say, and I say it every day because it's allow me to destroy the pressure that I can feel around me with all the people thinking and thinking and thinking. So I often repeat this crazy phrase. It's very interesting for me.
I love that because
useful for me.
Even as you said that was so useful for me, because I forget totally that people don't think the way that I think. Everyone should think the way I think. No, but we don't even think really, but we are impacted by the thoughts of others. Yeah. Wow. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Do you know what that is in French? Could you say it in French?
And also, yes.
Could you give that in French? I would like to know.
Tout est l'opposé de ce que cela paraît être, et rien n'est l'opposé de ce que cela paraît être.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, that's
tout est l'opposé de ce que cela paraît être. Donc, tout est l'opposé de ce que cela paraît être, et rien n'est l'opposé de ce que cela paraît être.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah. It's good to have it both ways, isn't it? Yeah. So tell me how you came to be in Access. How did you find it? How did it find you? Can you hear me?
Yes? It was in 2013. It was at a moment in my... Yes? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
So it was, it was in 2013. It was a specific moment in my life, in my job. I was looking for something different, and I found Access exactly when I need it. And I began to learn to attend an Access bars class, and then I decided to become a facilitator. And I attended many classes, foundation, level 2 and 3, body class. It was very unstopping. It was I couldn't stop the willingness. Yes, the willingness. I desired to attend all the classes, all the Access classes. I was angry with Access classes. I wanted to have all of them.
All at once. All at once.
Yes.
I think.
And yes.
No, go ahead.
And I attended a lot of classes and began to become a certified facilitator in 2015. And from that moment, I created many classes. I became a JCF, Joy of Business Facilitator, regarding my job in that company, and also being You Facilitator, to offer different type of classes and to create my own company with these activities. And this is growing more and more every day. And in the other side, I decrease my activity in the telecommunication company, And in a few months, I will stop it and be completely in my access activity.
That, excuse me. It's amazing to me that you work in a telecommunications company. Do you disrupt the telecommunications while you're there? Do you upset the electronics when you're there? It's a joke.
No. No, I like computers and so on. I learned that when I was at school, and I had all my career in this domain, in this field, the computers, the big systems, and so on. So it's something I like to do.
I really wonder with how much so many of us are drawn to. Well, we'll call it access, but we are seeking more. We know there must be more. And I really, this is just my interesting point of view, everyone, and take it, you know, and have a look at it and see what you find in it. But for me, particularly coming to France, I have long had a love affair with the French language and with France. And as most of you know, my daughter lives here and has married a French man. The thing about France, from an outsider's point of view, it was really here that the Renaissance began, that coming out of the Dark Ages, art, music, literature, science really came out of, there were other countries too, but France. And the concept of brotherhood and equality, and of course it's part of the national heritage. But for Gary Douglas to come back here now, and it's almost like, this is not an access point of view, it's my point of view, almost like a call has gone out to all of the people in all of the lifetimes who are part of that flourishing of where art and beauty and culture came back into the world after 1,000 years of darkness in the Dark Ages. We forget that for a long time, civilization lost medicine, it lost astronomy, it lost all of those things that the Roman world had. So how many lifetimes have we all been travelers to different countries, different civilizations, maybe even different planets, bringing...
We lose you, Shauna.
Oh, totally losing me?
We lose you, Shauna. We have trouble to hear you.
At all? Can you hear me at all?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes, but it's very cut still. We lose a lot of words.
Oh, because I'm talking about really energetically charged things. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what I'm talking about is, for all of you people out there, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, everywhere that you have been seeking more, like Laurence knew that she was seeking more, like Tekla, Errol, everyone online, you knew you were seeking more. And when you found these tools, was it for you like, oh, I kind of already knew this? You were familiar with the tools? It's almost like, oh, I kind of remember this. This seems natural to me. What I'm suggesting to you is that you have maybe had many lifetimes where you have been a miracle walking. Could you hear that? Yeah. Did you hear that, Tekla? No?
The technology is censoring you.
Censoring me. It is. It is. Okay, let's all do a contribution to clear all the entities that don't wish me to communicate in this room that I'm in. Pod and pock, 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 pod and pock. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how's that going now? So when Laurence speaks, is she clear? Laurence, can you speak? You can't
Yes,
hear
I
me
can
now.
speak.
Okay, speak,
Okay.
because
I
if
can
they can,
hear you. I can hear you.
yeah, but if they can hear you, you're better speaking than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got
Ma
some
voix est
messages
faible.
here.
Maybe I can put lighter. Is it better like this?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Okay. Yes, it's okay now.
Okay. So all of the lifetimes you have been a walking miracle and you have done miraculous things, would you now be willing to draw on that, pull that to you, and be the true walking miracle you truly be in this lifetime? And anything that doesn't allow that, uncreate and destroy it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. This is not your first rodeo. Does that translate in French? This is not your first circus, people. This is not your first lifetime where you've been seeking and finding and changing and growing. You have had many. And I'm suggesting that you pull the energy of all those miracles that you have already done into the present and use them to create the future you would like to create. Now, the other thing that came up in the foundation class is that for a long time, Gary Douglas has said, if we have 10,000 people in consciousness on the planet, not all of them are in access consciousness, just 10,000 people on the planet, we can change this reality. What will it look like? We don't know. How will it be? We don't know. We are very, very, very close. 100 more people joined consciousness over the foundation class. Not all of them were in the foundation class, but as a result of what you and I and everyone is choosing, it's making it easier for others as well. And if you want to be one of those 10,000, if you desire to be one of the 10,000, it's simply choosing it and then choosing not to judge, to be an allowance. So would you be willing to not judge you anymore? What if you did 20% less judgment of you today? Can you hear me now? Am I coming through? Okay. Yes. We will have the recording. So anything that doesn't allow you to stop judging you, can you uncreate and destroy it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So Laurence, I want to ask you some more questions about your business. When people, do you tell people at work what you do with your Joy of Business business?
Yes, at the beginning I didn't dare to do that, but now I more and more talk about that, and people begin to know me as the woman who has 2 activities.
Yes.
And they look at me, oh, she's strange. How can she manage all that? And they see me more laughing, more smiling, so they can see that it's something that works for me, so they are happy for me.
So could you tell us how you talk about, say, for example, the bars at work? How do you, or people you meet, how do you describe bars?
I say about them, or when I am in a fair, an expo.
Yes.
I often attend expos because I think it's a great way to learn people about access. the bars, with some short sessions with the bar to show to people what are the bars, and I explain that the bars are some 32 points on the head that you touch very smoothly, and then each point is in correspond. I don't know the word. Correspond.
Yep, it's the same word.
Correspond.
Yeah.
Yes, to a specific field of the life. And when you touch this point, you allow all the pressure, the thoughts, the emotions regarding this field of your life to be and the memories. You allow them to go away, to be dissipated so kindly and so easily. And when the session is over, you feel relaxed because you were lying on a table, on a stage table, and after that you can see that some space, you have more space in your head, in your body, and you can see that some you change, you don't react on the same way as before.
Yes,
some specific part of your life. For example, if certain people talk to you and you become upset by them, and one day you see, oh, this man or this woman has talked to me, and I don't feel upset, for example.
Yes.
These are some little things you can feel and see that you change and you are changing, and this way you can show people that you are changing, and you can invite them to change if they choose it.
If they choose it, yeah.
Yes, it's a great tool to have to run the bars and to.
While you were talking about that, you know, I've never had a 9-to-5 job, so I've never worked in a company. But I wonder what would be created if a big company would, like if someone like Richard Branson would say, everyone in this company, every day you can get your bars run. If you would like to have your bars run, we will provide that for you. And you don't have to, but if you would like to. Have you lost me? Can you hear me? Am I still here? Am I back? Okay. So what if a big company would have bars, people, and you could have your bars run every day at work if you wanted to, before work, after work, during lunch, what have you. And then I wonder if they did a study like how much happier people were, how much faster they worked, how much more creative, less sick days. Wouldn't that be amazing if someone would be brave enough to do that? Can you imagine? And then a lot of people would probably leave that business, but that's good because they weren't really happy anyway. But then maybe fresh people could come in. Wow. Because, you know, if you get a humanoid working in any business, especially a government kind of business, government, I can't think of the word, government institution, usually a humanoid can get all of their work done before morning tea. So they start work at 9, by 10:30, they've done all their work. Most humanoids are like that. But humans will take that small amount of work and make it go all day long. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but wouldn't that be amazing if everyone had their bars run often, humans too? Because it's much more enjoyable to do things quick, don't you think? Well, it's just my point of view. What do you think, Laurence? Should we start a movement of what would it take to get bars into big companies? I would volunteer.
Yes, it's one of Yes. Oh, yes. I have some project around that, and it will be great when we'll be able to spread that all around France and all around Europe and all around the world. Why not?
Well, we just have to ask the question. You don't really have to, you know, what would it take? And you could be meeting someone on a bus one day or having a coffee somewhere, and you just get talking, and someone goes, "Oh my goodness, I will do that." You just never know. Imagine, okay, here's the other thing. I haven't ever traveled a long distance on an airplane before, like 25 hours or whatever. Imagine if you could have your bars run on a plane. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that be fabulous?
It would be great. And for the jet lag.
And
easier to
yes,
for jet lag.
Because it's not really even the time difference, it's the stale air, the lack of movement, and all the radiation that's passing through your body while you're flying. It's incredible. And everything that is, let's just uncreate and destroy it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. The other thing, Laurence, is that are people at work allowed to smoke in the building, smoke a cigarette at work?
No, they have to go out to smoke.
Okay.
In the street or near the outside. They have to go outside to smoke.
I've never seen so many people smoking in my whole life as in Paris. Everybody smokes. Young women, old women, men, everybody. Wow. I feel like I've become a smoker since I've been here because I'm breathing it in everywhere I go. That's interesting, isn't it? Because you know what cigarettes or nicotine actually does? It suppresses people's emotions. And that's why the American Indians used to smoke tobacco, because if they needed to make a decision about the tribe, everyone had to settle down, come out of your emotions. Yeah, I know you want to go and kill the other tribe, but let's all smoke the peace pipe, tobacco, and it suppresses the emotions. And then if people don't have a cigarette, all of this uncomfortableness rises that they don't want to deal with. So they've got to quickly have another one. Isn't that interesting? So I am not surprised that Access is going so fantastically well in France, because I think there is a lot of fabulous energy and potential and potency in people here. How do you see it?
Yes. Maybe people reduce themselves. They don't do the maximum. They are only on the best effort. It's quite strong to say that, but at work it's often the case. Or but maybe it's an interesting point of view. And maybe people could be more motivated or more could have more envie.
Yes. Yep.
The word.
Yes. No, that's I got that word.
Enthusiasm, desire.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe,
yes.
Maybe they are sad at work, and maybe something could be suggest to them, or maybe they are looking for something different and don't know that they are looking for something different. Oh, wow.
What was that?
Is the plane?
Yeah, somebody somebody muted themselves. So you're like a little revolutionary at work, really, aren't you? You're like a a secret spy at work, in like a secret agent, Laurence, because you go in with all of this capacity and awareness and all of these tools, and actually everyone who's online who's using Access tools, anywhere you go, you are being the secret spy, the secret agent of consciousness, because you can't help yourself. You are actually vibrating at a different, well, let's say level, in a different way to other people. They are going to be affected by that. Now, they may get irritated, they may get annoyed, but you can't help it. You're the change agent. That's who you be. So do you use energy pulls at work? Like, do you pull energy from people to get things done?
Not that much. I don't use, it's not so easy for me to do that. I don't think about that at any time. When it's afterwards, I say, oh, I should have done the energy pulls for that.
And how's it get any better than that? And there's nothing.
When I have to,
that's not a wrongness.
I have to speak to many people, I have the idea to. Sorry.
I don't see that as a wrongness. It's more that was what was appropriate in the moment. That was your awareness in the moment. Where it's easy to judge ourselves and, oh, I should have done that. But were you actually being aware that that was not what was required in the moment?
Yes. So when I have to talk to many people in a meeting, for example, I have the idea to pull the energy, to get them to listen to me, to get them ready to listen to me and to what I have to say.
Yes.
So it's a great tool too.
I also have been talking to the earth here because, there's been civilization here in Paris, for example, for more than 2,000 years. The Romans were here. And so the earth has had a lot of, well, you could say it has had a lot of abuse in anywhere that you have lived in the world. It's not just Paris. And you can ask the earth to contribute to you under your building. If it's an office building, you can contribute to it yourself, back and forth. And I often do this on the call where I say, everyone who's listening, would you be willing to just open up and do an energy pull on your body the way that you would do an energy pull if you were running someone's bars, which is you just pull energy through the top of your head, lots and lots of it, through your body, down your legs, out your feet, down through the building, the foundations, deep into the earth. And you can let go of anything you've been holding on to and then pull energy up from the earth through your body, out the top of your head and up. And it's surprising to me how kind of youthful and playful the energy of the earth is, even in an old city that's seen a lot. It's not old energy. I don't know why I thought it would be old energy, but it's not old energy. It's young, fresh, vital energy. It's amazing when you do that. And what contribution can that be to the bodies and the people and the change you see? Because as you well know, France is at this pivotal point, politically speaking.
Oh, yes.
Everywhere you go and on the TV and everyone's talking about this and him and her and la 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 la. And what contribution can we be for France, the people in it, and the change that is required? And anything that doesn't allow that, let's uncreate and destroy it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. When is the election?
On Sunday.
This weekend.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so it's no surprise really that we have Dr. Tom coming with Happy Mouth the week after. This change here in the mouth is all about speaking. It's all about communicating. This country is all about speaking and communicating. The free speech here is very, very important to people, isn't it?
Oh, yes. The freedom in general.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful that you make your bread cheap. Beautiful, beautiful bread and beautiful croissants. The quality of the food that you have here, you know this, I know you know it already, is so magnificent. So incredible. What a gift. What a gift. What a gift. So what
There is a question.
Yes?
There is a question in the chat.
Wait. How can we make access consciousness personal rather than making about Gary and Dane? Oh, that is a fantastic question. How can I personalize so questions and contributions are appearing with ease? So I get the first one, and I guess you could just, because Gary Douglas says he'll know when he's been truly successful, when everyone uses the tools and nobody knows who Gary Douglas is. No one knows his name. So, but I don't, it's from Gary. Gary, could you maybe, I don't really understand the second question. How can I personalize so questions and contributions are appearing with ease? Maybe, oh, okay, Marie-José has to leave. Thank you. Laurence, do you have an idea of what Gary may be meaning by that question?
Maybe to get questions and contribution for other people, how can he explain access so it will be easier for people to ask questions?
Okay, you know what?
Being himself.
Yep. So I guess for me and Laurence, you could say what you do. I just say, hey, I found this tool and this is what I do. I don't even mention Gary and Dane a lot of the time. And I talk about them here because I make an assumption, and maybe I shouldn't, that most people on the Zoom know about access consciousness. But in my personal business and in my personal life, I hardly mention their names. And that's okay. They're not about... I own that. It's not about the cult of Gary and Dane, although it may appear to be about them. I just say, in my experience, I find that blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, I met this lady who did this, blah, 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 blah. I just give experiences from my own life with it. Is that more helpful, Gary? I may have missed the point. And we'll wait to see if he comes back with that. Yeah. Okay, so does someone else... Oh, here we go. No. Okay, good. So does anyone else have a question? You can ask your question live, or you can type it into the chat box. No? Okay, good. No, I missed the point. Sorry. He says, can he hire the woman on the call for a session? I guess that's you, Laurence.
Yes.
Yes, and I will send her email address to you when I send out the replay and the recording. You can absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm sorry I missed the point. She is delightful. She is delightful. Yes.
Wow.
She is delightful.
Thank you.
She is delightful. There you are, your first big fan, Laurence. So, more and more people are going to want to know how to use these tools in business without, I guess this is what Gary's saying, without making it about Gary and Dane. So if you're planning to leave your corporate job and go out in the world doing your Joy of Business sessions with people and classes, how will you maintain your contacts and your connections with business? Do you belong to different groups, or have you got suggestions for people?
What could I do? I can ask questions at first.
Yes.
And,
well, I guess, I mean, do you belong to women's business groups, or do you go to different...
Yes.
Okay, so could you talk about some of that, please? There might be people online who would like to know about that.
Yes, I am part of several groups of network for women, because women don't do networking so much. So they are in France. I don't know in other countries, but in France, women are not used to do that. So it's very interesting to be in these groups and help women and see what they need, and suggest some tools and maybe some classes. It's also business for me to be in these networks.
Yep.
And I'm also part of groups in my company with the all colleagues, and I know many people in the company regarding all the different jobs I had in my career. So I will keep contact with these people, and with the colleagues in Access. I think many things can be done. And also I talk about expose. For the moment, it's always wellness expose, but there are also business expose.
Yep.
And I think it could be a great idea to attend this expose and to show that something is different, could be different in business, and explain the tools and show what is possible with the business done on a different way. So there are many ways to talk about business in the world.
So what I guess I should have asked you was, what is Joy of Business for the people who don't know?
It's business done different.
Yes.
To get out of the tracks, the way, the usual ways. So to get out of that, and ask questions and find out something different. To get different ideas to manage a business, for example, to do things you like to do, and in the most part of your life, sometimes you have to listen to what your manager is asking to you, of course. But what if you could always do what you prefer in your life, what you choose in your life, what do you love to do, and manage to get a job around that, around what you want to do, what you like to do, and so it's not a job; it's a pleasure to have this activity.
Actually, and Gary has asked another question about people who've been laid off, fired, or require a life change. Do you work with those people? And with Joy of Business, it's really about, instead of going to the wrongness of maybe why you don't like your job, or your job is stressful, or why you can't get a job, or all of the why, going, well, okay, what's right about this you're not getting? Perhaps there are, well, undoubtedly there are some capacities you have that you haven't even looked at, no one has even pointed out to you, that could be developed and used so that you would actually either have a job or a business. It doesn't really matter which, because whether it's a job or a business, it's still the business of life. We are all in business.
Yes.
The business of life. And for me, the tools, and I've done quite a few Joy of Business classes, the tools of Joy of Business are really about what is it that you would love to do that comes so easily for you that you don't even realize that you are a gem, that you are a treasure? And you might have a whole range of those capacities that you go, oh yeah, but I can do that. Whew, you don't even think about it. Hang on a minute. For me, that would take me 3 years to do that and I'd hate it. You can do it in 10 seconds and you go, poof, that doesn't mean a thing. People will pay you for that. And I have a friend who had a fantastic job in one of the big TV networks in Sydney, Australia. She'd been there for many years. She was loved by everyone, the celebrities. She had a big team working under her. She loved the job, but on the side, she would, pet sit. So she had 2 dogs, and if friends were going on holidays, their dogs could come and live with her for a week or 2. She was so good at it, she started charging money, and then she had a waiting list of people who wanted her to mind their dogs. You know what? She's left the big job in the television network because she gets out to go walking every day. She loves it. It's easy for her. The dogs never play up. It's never a trouble. For me, that would be like a nightmare. How do you have 6 dogs in your home? Yuck. For her, it's like, oh, easy peasy. She's created a wonderful life for herself. And that's not for everyone, but just for example, you know, so throw us some of those tools, Laurence, just maybe one tool for someone who's in a job that they're not really enjoying. If you were working with them, if you were doing a session with them, what would be some of the questions you'd be getting them to ask?
I often ask, what could you add to your life that you have not yet considered, and which could be a contribution for you and that you do with pleasure?
I love that. What can you add to your life? Because most people would go, I'm too busy already. I don't want to add anything. But tell me what you mean by add to your life.
So it's not the question to remove something. It's about adding something you like to do. So it's you do it very easily. So you can add it to your life. And it's important to have many projects at the same time running with you. And each day you ask what project require my... Sorry for my English.
No, your English is fantastic. Don't apologize. Very clear, very clear.
Thank you. So what project requires my attention today? If you have 10 projects, let's imagine that, you don't have to work on each project every day. So in the morning, you ask, you see your 10 projects and you ask them, on what project do I have to work today? Which one requires my attention? And then you make each project working on its own and going on its at the speed it needs, and you are not so busy with them, because you just pick one and another one and so on, and instead of removing one project or 2 projects to add something to take something else, you just add other project, because at a moment one project will be finished and then you can add another one and so on. It's continuously moving. It's not being it's not about having finished everything at the same time, because some projects are very short, some other projects are take a long time and so on. So you manage that every day, and at the beginning you have to, it's quite stressful, but you have to manage that, to deal with that, and it becomes easier every day. And
so that's actually the opposite of what everyone tells you, isn't it? Everyone tells you, pick one thing, focus on that, stick with it. And if you're like us, it's like, no, I can't. Don't make me. So I love that tool when you say add something, because we love to have all these little bubbling projects cooking away on the back burner and then ask them, do you require my attention? No, you don't. Lovely. It'll just keep bubbling away on the fire over there, and another one here. And I love that. What I also love about you, Laurence, and we're getting close to the top of the hour there, is that you have this corporate job, you are a certified facilitator, you've got your Joy of Business, and we haven't mentioned this yet, you are part of the host team for me bringing Happy Mouth to Australia, Dr. Tom Colso's Generative Energetic Dentistry. And so that is another one of your capacities. And this event, you know, it's been interesting pulling this all together, and we're only a week away. There's another thing that you've added into your life, whereas most people would have said, oh, I'm too busy, I've got a full-time job, I've got this, I've got that, I've got family, la la la. But you didn't. You went, yes, yes. It's always asking the question, would that be fun? Would that be something I'm interested in? Yes. And maybe that's wasn't part of your skill base before, I don't know, but I am so grateful that you came in and went, I can contribute to this.
Yes, I can learn something different. I like to learn something, to do something different, to do something new, because I have never hosted a class before. So I learn at the same time, and it's very interesting too.
Well, I love that. And I will say to everyone online, every time you say yes to something new, it increases your connections. And really, life and business is about connecting with people here, there, for all kinds of different reasons, which all contribute to you. And they contribute to you, but you contribute to them. And with this class, which is so revolutionary, when you tell people that you can grow new teeth, people are like, say, what? Do you mean having an implant? No, and there's nothing wrong with having implants. You can regrow your gums if they've receded. Most people, that is so far out of their ability to even receive that information that this first class is going to be revolutionary. And I was asking questions the other day, why Paris? Why did we pick Paris? Well, the reason we picked Paris is that you three amazing ladies, Tekla, Marie-José and Laurence, put your hands up and said, we will have Dr. Tom here. So you are pioneers and revolutionaries. And thank you for that. For this man to come all the way from America and leave his busy practice and come here and start training practitioners in this new modality, and people can't even quite get how amazing it is yet. I hope you are aware of the courage and the pioneer spirit that it is taking to pull this together.
Yeah.
How's it get any better than that? I just want to thank you. And for everyone online, if you don't know what it is, get a hold of some of this material that you can actually have points on your head rubbed quite hard and stimulated quite hard, which set off systems which you should have naturally running. They're there, but they're dormant, so that you can repair a broken tooth naturally, so your body can respond in the way it's supposed to. That more than that, you are able to speak freely, you are able to express yourself freely through your mouth. I mean, how does it get any better than that? How do we get so lucky? We've kind of run out of time. Thank you so much, Laurence and Errol, for translating. I'm also here for a 3-day body class. We haven't talked about that, but that's fine. You can find me on Shauna's Island. How does it get any better than that? Thank you, everyone. Any questions? Thank you, Gary, for your question, your comments. Would anyone like to ask something of Laurence before we sign off? I'm just checking here. And we had a lot of people registered. I don't think I've told you that a lot of people registered for this call. It was very short notice. And unfortunately at home I can see my time is still on my computer. It's 11 o'clock at night back in Brisbane. It's, you know, early hours of the morning other places. So everyone will get the recording. Thank you. Sorry about our interesting technical... How's it get any better? All right, everyone. Thank you so much, Laurence.
Woo!
Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you, Laurence. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Laurence, what's the name of your website? Do you have a website of your own?
Yes, it's www.capzen.info. Capzen.info. CAPZEN INFO.
Cool. And we'll also send that out in the follow-up email, which has the replay and the recordings in it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for putting up with the technology. Ha, ha, ha. And our next guest in our next show will be Tekla. Yay, Tekla. So we'll be looking forward to talking to her soon. Okay. Toodaloo. Bye.